tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? On Monday night invasion. Yeah, this is Rockin' Randall Hank with a special alert for the nation.
Well, I guess that's it for the Monday Night Football theme. Welcome to the program, Cheap Shots, here on Minds Internet Radio. Thanks for choosing to spend some quality time with us here tonight. A little bit of a chilly day. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird. The mics do. I feel like there's a lot of background noise. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was good. Very nice. Yeah, welcome to Cheap Shots. 5 o'clock in Golden, Colorado, Studio A on the campus of the Colorado School of Mines. Expected to get some more snow here tonight. It seems like every week, right in the beginning of the week when we're wrapping up our show, it starts to snow here in Golden, starting to get a little bit chilly. Before we dive into all the sports topics we will be discussing tonight, a lot of stuff going on. Also, we'll give our breakdown of the Mines football season as we did our last game this past weekend for Mines Internet Radio. Ordigers came away victorious, as well as a little bit of a preview for the basketball season coming up. But before we dive into all of that, Jay Kevin, happy No Shave November.
I was gonna. It's coming in. Just praying for snow on this side of the booth today. Just praying for it.
I'll take some snow. I already got out of all the stuff I need to do tomorrow, but I'll gladly take some snow, especially if it's only going to stick around for half a day. But with that, I guess we will a little bit of a preview on what we're going to get to in the next hour here on Mines Internet Radio. We will discuss, break down, give our reactions to the game of the century this past weekend, Alabama and LSU. Kind of getting ragged on in the media, but I thought I enjoyed the defense. I thought it was a well-played football game, and you had suspense, had some big plays. But overall, I thought a very good football game. Made it to overtime.
No, I didn't think it was a great game, but a really entertaining ball game. I thought with the missed field goals and the two goal line stands with the LSU pick and then Alabama shutting down LSU right before the half, I thought it was exactly what it was billed to be. And anytime you can get Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson calling that game in the booth, talk about two classic guys up there.
Gary Danielson, very good job, as well as Vern. Vern's always good, but the color guy makes or breaks the broadcast. And
I agree. When we're up there, I just provide the soothing vocals and tell a story. It's really on you to fill in the details, to really paint the picture.
And you finally won a box bet this past weekend with your LSU prediction, which was heard on last week's show. They just could have made some field goals.
Well, interesting that, the number one team in the country, number one defense, probably better offensively, I thought, and they got two kickers. Neither one of them's good over 40.
They had their opportunities to win the game, certainly at home, and they didn't take advantage, and for that reason, I don't think they deserve a rematch. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. We'll also talk about Oklahoma State. Survived this past week and is now up to number 2 in the BCS. Bama is still ahead of Stanford and Boise, even with the loss. We will talk about Joe Flacco and perhaps a possible coming out party on Sunday Night Football last night as the Ravens beat the Steelers for the second time already this season and move into a tie atop the AFC North with Cincinnati.
I believe both of them 6-2. Pittsburgh sitting at 6-3. But I think we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks whether or not the Bengals are for real. They've got a couple big games. I think 4 of their last 7 are against the Steelers and Ravens combined. So make or break time for them.
And that's where the road for the AFC North goes through. I mean, a lot of people argue it's Pittsburgh, but last night with Baltimore showing, you could most certainly argue that it goes through Baltimore. But either way, 4 against both of those teams left is a pretty tough slate for rookie quarterbacks. We'll see how Andy Dalton and his his wide receiver weapons, I guess you could call them, respond against those top AFC teams. Tim Tebow gets a win yesterday on the road as a very enjoyable game to watch. I love Red Zone, but watching the Raiders do what they did yesterday and Tebow running all over the place and the black hole going nuts and Carson being Carson, absolutely fun game to watch yesterday. So we'll talk about that briefly. Packers also remained undefeated with a shootout win over San Diego yesterday afternoon. At one point in time, Phillip Rivers had 6 touchdown passes. Well, right up until the end of the game, he had 6 touchdown passes. 4 to his own team and 2 to the other team. So lots of scoring there. And San Diego just continues to be that head-scratching team. It's now I don't even think they still got a half-game lead, or no?
Well, 4-4, and then I believe the Chiefs are now 4-4, and I want to say the Raiders are 4-4 too, and then the Broncos just a game out at, what do you want to call them, 3-5?
Don't look now. Yeah, 4-4.
Is anybody good in this division?
No, it's the same story.
I thought the Chargers would be.
So did Vegas at 6-1 to win the Super Bowl. I think they were second best odds to win it behind the Packers.
Peter King had him in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. Just, I don't know. A lot of interesting quarterbacks in that division. Carson's thrown 6 picks now in 2 games. Oakland, how's that trade looking? 2 first-rounders they probably gave up.
We need 2. I said I had a few good questions for you that I didn't bring up yesterday while we were watching stuff, and one of them involves that man. So we'll get to that. Just briefly running down the rest of the show. It's Eli Manning beating the Patriots again in a rematch of Super Bowl 42, 52, something too, but did it in more or less the same way he did it back in 2008. Was that when the Patriots were trying to stay undefeated, leading that last minute drive? And then the whole Penn State story that has been blowing up the airwaves involving Jerry Sandusky and sexual assault case. We talked about it earlier. We're not even going to get to it on the show. If you want your in-depth Jeremy Schaap E60 talk,
turn on the mothership. They've been covering it.
Holy crap!
Just exhausting, that story.
But I think Sandusky, I guess I didn't realize how big of an influence he was in that Penn State program. Was with them 30 years as most notably a linebackers coach that coached 10 All-American linebackers in his time there. Also called the plays defensively at times.
And a defensive coordinator for, I think, 9 seasons. Was the supposed successor to Joe Paterno. Defensive coach at linebacker U. Had a pretty big reputation, and granted, it was probably a little bit before our time of paying that much attention into college football, but I don't want to say that it shouldn't be covered that much, but just due to how it's not a fun thing to talk about, and that's kind of why I just want to avoid it.
I completely agree. If you want your talk on it, flip on any stations, but we only got an hour each week. We don't have time to spend talking on...
Yeah, we just play the hits.
Exactly, and it's just not a fun thing to talk about, so we're not going to talk about it. As always, you can call into the show, and we'll be talking a little NCAA first and foremost, but we're going to get to the Tebow talk shortly, and if anybody has any Tebow-related opinions, please feel free to call in at any point in time, 303-273-3304. You can also Facebook us questions. Me and Jake are both on Facebook, so you could send us... Actually, Jake and I are both on Facebook. You can send us questions that way.